Welcome to Real Unfiltered, Unapologetic. I'm your host, Joy, and today we're stepping into the conversation that touches almost every human being at some point in their life. Anxiety. Some people describe it as racing thoughts. Others say it feels like pressure in their chest. Some say it's the quiet fear that sits in the background of their mind. But what's interesting is that anxiety doesn't stay the same throughout life. The anxiety of a teenager is very different from the anxiety of a parent. The anxiety of someone of their 20s is very different than someone in their 40s or 50s. Yet somehow every generation experiences it. And today we're asking the deeper question. How does anxiety evolve throughout life, and why do so many people struggle with it silently? Because despite how common anxiety is, people often feel ashamed to talk about it. They believe they're supposed to be strong. They believe they're supposed to have everything under control, but the truth is, fear and uncertainty are part of the human experience. So today we're unpacking anxiety across generations, across their life stages, and across experience. And I'm honored to have a special guest joining me for this conversation. Please welcome Dana and say hello to her. So y'all, welcome Dana.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I am the retired Chief Warrant Officer 2, now licensed Master Barber Dana Lovett. I'm Joe's little sister, for those who don't know.
Remember that I'm older. She big. She might be taller, but I'm older.
Exactly, but I'm glad to be here.
So y'all, I'm glad she here too. We ain't seen each other in a long time. But let's get to the point. Let's start with something important. Many people think anxiety simply means worrying, but anxiety is much deeper than that. Anxiety is the brain trying to protect us. It is the mind scanning for possible danger. In small amounts, anxiety is actually useful. It keeps us alert. It helps us prepare. It motivates us to act. But when anxiety becomes constant, when the mind never stops scanning for danger, life begins to feel overwhelming. Suddenly, every decision feels heavy, every uncertainty feels threatening, and the mind begins to imagine problems that haven't even happened yet. So, what makes anxiety especially complex is that it often changes with life experience. The fear that we carry at 15 are not the same fears we carried at 35. As responsibility change, expectations change, life experiences shape the way we process fear. And yet, despite all of this, many people still struggle to talk about anxiety openly. For generations, anxiety was often dismissed. People were told, just toughen up, you're overthinking, you'll be fine. But emotionally, experiences doesn't disappear just because they're ignored. Sometimes they grow stronger in silence. So, I want to start here. When people hear the word anxiety, what do you think they misunderstand about it the most? So when they hear it, what is the misunderstanding with anxiety?
I think honestly now a lot of people don't even know that that's exactly what they're feeling. Anxiety, I mean, we know typically it puts your body in, not even your body, but your mind. It puts you all together in fight or flight. So I think just when it comes to anxiety, like you just got to really be aware of like what's going on at that time, you know.
Okay. Why do you think anxiety has become such a visible conversation in recent years compared to back in, like the older generations?
Absolutely, because in the older generations, it was just one of those things where feelings overall just wasn't discussed. Like in, our households growing up, you can only really be happy or sad. And then you really couldn't even be sad because, of course, you was forced to stop crying. You know what I mean? So during that time, nobody talked about emotions. Nobody talked about feelings, which today is a little different because now with social media, and we're just in the generation of asking questions. Everything is on social media. We got ChatGPT and going to therapy. Now it's not a bad thing like how it used to be. So I think now people are a little bit more aware of what's going on with anxiety.
Do you think it was the fear of us fearing our parents, or do you think that it's more, like I know now is more open, right?
Right.
So now it's more of, it's not bad. It's accepting to show your emotions. It's
Absolutely.
accepting to tell us what's going on. But when we was growing up, that wasn't accepting. It was girl, go sit down somewhere,
Yeah, shut up.
or just shut up somewhere, or boys couldn't do this or boys didn't do
Couldn't
that.
cry.
So do you think it was really an anxiety thing or a fear that we have for our parents?
I think it was fear. Honestly, I definitely think it was fear. And as I said, I just think too, like, you couldn't really identify with it. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't even really know what anxiety was. A lot of people just feel things and don't really know exactly what it is. You couldn't put a name on it. You know what I mean? So I feel like too, a lot of times people didn't even know exactly what it was that they were feeling. They just, sometimes you just throw another label on something. You know what I mean?
That is true, because
Yeah.
most people nowadays, they just everybody think they have anxiety, but they don't actually really
don't
feel
really
it.
know, yeah.
That's the first thing that come out their mouth. Oh, I have anxiety. Just leave me
Yeah.
alone. I have it. But this is
But-
it really anxiety?
Yeah, like, how do you know for real is that what you're really dealing with? Because anxiety can be in so many different forms. Like, for me, when I feel it, it literally takes over my body. Like, I don't feel safe within myself. You know what I mean? So I know for a fact that that's exactly what's going on. And I mean, we've been diagnosed PTSD, depression. So we already know what it feels like anyway. So I know for me, I know at that moment, like, Dana, you know what? Your anxiety is extremely high right now. So you gotta bring yourself back too, but.
So I know for me, when I have anxiety attacks, I get this feeling in my body. Like my body starts shaking.
Yes.
You get that feeling too? Like my body starts shaking.
Yes.
It's almost like my pressure is up, but my pressure is not up.
Yes.
And then it's like, okay, Joy. And then my heart start racing. So when
Yes.
that happen, I have to tell myself, hey,
Yeah.
calm down.
Yeah.
Are you going to count to 10?
Yeah.
You about to have an anxiety attack.
Absolutely.
But sometimes that anxiety turns into a full bad panic attack. That's why I'm asking. Some people think they have an anxiety, but is it really anxiety, or is it your fear that something is going to happen? You're worrying about too much, because anxiety is really worry. But if you never experienced that, how do you know that's what you're going through?
No, seriously, absolutely. Because all the things that you just expressed, those are exactly what I feel. And believe it or not, with the pressure is part that you're saying, sometimes typically, like for me, my blood pressure hits, and I don't even have blood pressure issues, but I keep a blood pressure cup with me, because when I'm going and I'm feeling that sense of anxiety, it is raising my blood pressure up.
Yeah, it do.
Yeah, and I have to go and recenter myself and do all this deep breathing, and I have to talk to myself, placing my hand over my heart, all these different things that you learn. But I definitely feel like fear, though.
Fear of the unknown.
Right. But I also feel like, too, fear of the known, because, like, I worked an hour away from home. I was driving to work, and it's like, my body immediately fight or flight, because it knew it was so much chaos going on there. So immediately it's when the anxiety for me spikes, you know what I mean? And it's like, we're going to be okay. It's fine. We just, go make a little money. You're going to be okay. But I know for a fact it's just.
Like us being in the military, going to work and sitting in the parking lot for 30 minutes before you go in the office.
I swear.
Talking to yourself.
Uh,
You got to talk to yourself.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Y'all. So, let's talk about when the uniform comes off, because this is a big topic. I want to pause and talk about a group of people whose anxiety is often misunderstood or overlooked entirely. Veterans, military service members, and those who have transitioned out of the military. As I said, as a retired Army Master Sergeant, this part of the conversation is personal to me and Dana, because she's a retired CW too.
Absolutely.
So when most people think about military service, they think about deployments, combat, leadership, and discipline. They see the uniform, they see the rank, they see the conferences, but what they don't always see is the pressure. The pressure to perform, the pressure to lead, the pressure to stay mission focused, as they should say, the pressure to carry responsibilities while often putting your own emotions on the back burner. So when I say putting your own emotions on the back burner, a lot of people think that the military produces robots. It's not actually producing a robot. It's discipline, right? So we were in a world that was not meant for us, right? So we constantly had to, what's the word I'm looking for? We constantly had to prove ourselves to our male counterparts, because it was like, oh, y'all can't do this or y'all can't do that. But in actuality, we did our job better than a lot of them.
Yeah.
As the military, we are trained to assess risk, anticipate threats, and stay prepared for what could happen next, right? Those skills are necessary. Those skills save lives. But when military service ends, many veterans discover something unexpected. The mission is over, the uniform is gone, but the hypervigilance doesn't automatically disappear. The constant need to prepare doesn't automatically disappear. The anxiety doesn't always disappear, and that's a conversation we don't have often. One of the biggest misconceptions about people in the military, that transition, is that it's simply about finding a job. It's not. Transition just isn't leaving employment, it's leaving a culture, identity, and it's leaving a structure and shape your own daily life for years or even decades. So it's leaving a community where people understand you without explanation. And many veterans find themselves asking the question that never expect to ask: who am I now? Because for years, when you know exactly where you belong, you knew your purpose, you knew your mission, you knew your role. Then one day that chapter closes, and while civilians may see retirement or separation as freedom, we see a different experience that's uncertain. Not because they aren't capable, not because we're not prepared, but because nobody fully prepares you for rebuilding your identity after the military. So, Dana, this is the question I want to ask you, because I know for me, transition was not easy.
Right.
So when you got out the military, what was the hardest part of your transition that people don't talk about?
Wow. Man.
Because think about it. So we put in paperwork a year prior, right?
Right.
For retirement.
Right.
Within that year, do you really think, oh, dang, it's time, I'm going to be gone? I think it's not until you get to that last 90 days that anxiety started kicking in.
So honestly, being real, I didn't have anxiety when it was all said and done, because I was happy, I'm like, I'm tired, you know what I mean? I get to rest, I get to kick my feet up, I get to do what I want, I go wherever I want to. So I didn't face anxiety then. I think what it was is because, like, the military sets us up for everything, like, versus then how we had to enroll in VA and all those different things. Like, that stuff started to become a little frustrating, even though it was easy. But then it's like, you getting connected to all these different lines. It's like even more of a hurry up and wait. And it's like the civilian world, no offense, is just so much. They just don't care. Like, it's just a different world out here. Like, of course, we got our Army values that we had no choice but to live by. But out here in the civilian world, it's just like, man, dog eat dog out here,
Do you know how many veterans say that?
They just don't care. Probably a plethora.
Yeah, it's so many veterans I hear who's retired, who just got out, who works in the civilian sector, who say, man, this ain't for us. Like, I miss the camaraderie. I miss the military was a family on its own.
Yes.
But what was coming out of the military, what was the frustration? So I know for me, my biggest frustration was not knowing exactly who I was outside of the military.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I was mama, I was wife, I was soldier, I was leader.
Yeah.
But then when I came home, I was still mama and wife.
Yeah.
But who was I other than that?
I don't know. That's something that I'm still battling with, truthfully, because it's now you actually can spend more time being yourself versus then being, CW2 loving. Now I have to I don't have to. Well, no, I do have to, but now I'm Dana. So now it's like, okay, Dana, what do you like? What do you do? What makes sense to you? Like, how do you navigate out here? Like, how do you carry yourself out here? Because at one point I realized and my partner would say this all the time, stop talking to me like I'm one of your soldiers. And I found myself talking to everybody, like, like, like they work for me.
Why are you talking to her like you one of her soldiers?
Girl, everybody worked for me. I was a CW too. What you want me to do? That's how I felt. So now it's like, I feel like I have to learn how to communicate out here, but then I realized they don't even really communicate super effective out here. It's like, even all the way something simple down to taking your car to the dealership. It's just, Joe, I'd argue with the Dodge, Chipotle. Like,
you can't argue with the people out here. You can't do that.
It is just a different world out here. And it's, I don't know. I think for me, I expect for everybody to be honest. I expect for everybody to have integrity. I expect for everybody to love what they do at their jobs and, do it well. I expect for just effective communication and all these things.
You can't expect you out of everybody else, though. And that's probably the problem. You're expecting you out of everybody else. You can't do that. You can only expect what they're going to give you. Everybody is not. Everybody can't.
Everybody not living the Army values.
No.
I see that now. Like,
you gotta remember. You remember now. You're living in a different space. You're not CW2 no more. You are Dana.
Absolutely.
So Dana have to figure out how to live in a civilian world without being Chief Lovett. So see, I figured out that part.
Yeah.
But figuring out that part, listen, y'all, I think I got adult ADHD because my mind go in 500 directions, different directions at a different time. But it took me a long time to figure out who Joy was. You know that. We had so many conversations about that. Like, it was the depression. It was the depression. It was the anxiety. It was the, okay, what am I going to do now? Like, what the hell? Yeah. Like, it was so much. Because it was like sitting at home and the walls closing in and you in the space with your thoughts and y'all, my thoughts, them people in my head, we ain't right. So when you talking to yourself and you got all these different thoughts coming to you, like, how do you handle that? Because if you haven't figured out who you are yet, the anxiety now is you being scared to figure out who you actually are. So who are you without being a CW2, without the Army? Because the civilian world, like you said, it's a dog-eat-dog world, but at the same time, they're only showing you that they don't have the discipline. The military sets you out with discipline and stability.
They wild out there.
But they give you a family. You make a family in the military that probably stronger than the family you been by blood.
Man, I'm telling you, I love my Army family. I swear. I'm telling my regular family.
Because every time, so think about it. In the military, when you have something going on or it's something wrong with you, you have ample amount of people checking on you, trying to make sure you're not going through it by yourself.
Absolutely.
Now, here he is in this other world, and you got people, okay. Well, let me tell you about what's going on with me. They just disregard everything that you just said.
Absolutely.
But you do find some loyal people who tend to, are you okay?
Yeah.
And
that's hard, honestly. Like, with finding myself, I'm very thankful that, I have a partner that has been super patient with my growth in this. And man, God's timing is amazing because, Joe, you know too, because I was calling you during crash outs. Like, were you feeling this way? Like, because just like you said, when you're sitting in them four walls and you're really trying to figure out who you are now that uniform is gone, it can definitely be very overwhelming. And sometimes it just makes you feel like, okay, now what is my purpose? But I'm so thankful to God that in this amount of time that I've found a sense of peace. I mean, I'm still on my journey with learning who I am and what I like to do. I allow myself now to do things, you know what I mean? Like, and even with the depression, the anxiety and stuff, like now, you know, I'm running, I'm going hiking, I'm just doing all these different things. Like we go on trips and stuff like that. So now it's like you're finding ways to kind of heal yourself. You know what I mean? Because I feel like when you don't, though, that's when those things show up. And
Yeah,
you got to be strong.
She running. I'm allergic to it, so.
Girl, you can get out of there. I got a 5K coming up. Come join you, girl.
No, ma'am, I'm allergic to running. I keep lifting weight before I live. I'm allergic to the run.
You gonna do it one day.
Many veterans are prepared for deployment. We prepare for leadership and prepare for conflict. We are prepared for crisis, but they're not always prepared for stillness. Like I just said, they're not always prepared for ordinary life. They're not always prepared for the emotional weight that comes with transition. And that's basically what it is, the emotional weight. And sometimes the emotional weight shows up as anxiety. Anxiety about purpose, finances, health care, family roles, aging, and anxiety about whether their best years are behind them. You feel the best years are behind you?
No.
No, okay.
No.
I thought it was just me.
Not at all.
And perhaps the hardest part is that many veterans continue carrying these burdens silently because strength has been part of their identity for so long. Oh, Dana, that is so you. But strength and struggle can exist. But strength and struggle can exist at the same time. Strength doesn't mean you're unaffected. It means you keep moving forward while carrying things other people never see.
Yeah.
One of the most important things to understand about anxiety is this. The goal is not to eliminate fear completely. Fear is part of being human. The real goal is learning how to move forward even when fear is present. Anxiety becomes dangerous when it convinces people they are powerless. But we're not powerless. I'm going to tell y'all that now. But understanding anxiety can actually give people their power back. It reminds us that our thoughts are not always facts. It reminds us that uncertainty is part of life. And most importantly, it reminds us that we are not alone in what we feel. You hear that, right? This is a segment called Let's Get Real. Are we really anxious or are we avoiding? That's the question. Let's get real for a minute. Sometimes we say we're anxious when we're really avoiding something. Maybe it's the phone call, therapy, ending the relationship, starting the business, or admitting we need help. Do you think people sometimes hide behind anxiety because facing the situation feels even scarier?
Absolutely they do. It's easier. It's easier to accept that.
It's easy to avoid it.
Yeah, it's easier to just say I'm not gonna do this because it's anxiety, and it's like medicine. Like you just kind of just giving it to yourself to make yourself feel better about not really going to do what you need to do. Like that's how I personally feel about it.
Well, I'm not going to ask you about your personal avoidance because, we already talked about that.
I ain't avoiding nothing.
So, see, she ain't avoiding nothing. So, have you finally faced some of your anxiety?
Absolutely. Not all of it, but absolutely. For me, it just takes courage. Because again, to me personally, I don't feel like anxiety is bad. It's just a way of your brain and your body letting you know, like, hey, let's pay attention to something.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm very aware when it shows up. So it's like, okay, here we are. What do we do? Like, how can we navigate through this? You know what I mean?
Y'all see how that work? She aware of hers. I need y'all to do something with y'all.
Yeah, because it ain't going to go away. Because what they going to do? Either give you some medication or you just going to sit at home and drive yourself crazy about it.
They going to cry.
Yeah, but people avoid. People are avoiding, Joe. People will avoid it, and they will use excuses like anxiety to say, I don't want to do something.
Okay, let's get real. Number 2. Who benefits from staying small? Fear whispers, don't apply, don't speak, don't leave, don't try. But who benefits when we stay small?
Who benefits? That's a deep question. Let's get real and let me ask you who you think benefit.
From being small?
Yeah.
I don't think nobody benefit from that. Cause why you making yourself smaller than what you really are?
Yeah, not for real. Now, actually, some people do benefit. Now, the people who want to see you lose.
Misery love company.
Yes, absolutely. Now,
You right.
the people who want to see you lose, who praying to God that you.
That's why you don't tell everybody your business. You keep your
can't.
circle small.
Even still, people still don't know what's going on and still want you to fail.
Just praying on your downfall.
Well,
you right.
yeah.
You right.
So that's them.
Yeah, them miserable people. We gonna leave it. Okay. Let's go to get real number 3. So y'all see how she just flipped that on me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Is it anxiety or the need for control? The narcissist to some people. So is it anxiety or is it the need for control?
Oh man, anxiety or the need for control. The need for control. People want to control everything, and when it doesn't go their way, then guess what pop up?
Anxiety. That's
Absolutely.
a little OCD though.
Yeah.
Think about it, because you can't control. You only control what's in your room, right?
For real. Even sometimes you can't control that.
How you can't control what's in your space?
Sometimes you can't. Like, okay, you get in your car, and now you can't drive off. You can't control what you gonna do.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Like, especially if the engine is like completely blown up and you got some. Well, nah, you can't control.
You can't. Actually, you can't control that if you keep the maintenance up on your vehicle like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
So if you can control what's in your world, you can't control what other people do, but you can control what's in your lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Scratch that. You definitely can't control what's in your world. I agree.
So is it control or is it anxiety? Or is it the fear that you can't control it, so you end up with anxiety? Because now you're worrying about everything that you can't control.
What you think?
I think it's both. Cause honestly, I'm gonna tell you like this. My therapist already told me I got a little OCD. Because when things don't go my way, I start crashing out, and that's when my anxiety take place. So, why do people struggle to surrender control? And see, that's my thing. I struggle to surrender control because I always been in control. Always been in control of my pathway. So for somebody who can't, like, if I can't control the outcome, it's like, what am I doing? And then that when my anxiety starts swirling, and that when I want to crash out for real, and then that's not a good thing.
I think it's because people want the outcome to be what they put in their mind for it to be. Yeah, and when it looks like it's not going in that direction, that's where the anxiety and all that stuff like comes up. And man, I just go with the flow every day. If it don't go my way, it don't go my way.
I do that now. How do you know? How do you know when you're trying to control something you simply cannot? I already know when I can't. I already know when I can't.
How do you know when you're trying to control something? I mean, it's just it's clear. It's screaming like.
Baby, I put it in God's hand. That's my word now, and I put it in God's hands.
Like, yeah, for real, you have to. You really, because you just can't control. To me, I'm gonna just be honest. I think control is a bad word.
Really?
Yeah. In situations like that, that's just just a lack of trust that you don't have with yourself.
I see that.
That's
true.
Yeah, it's definitely a lack of trust. Like.
You got to be able to trust yourself.
You got to be able to trust yourself in the direction in that you're going. You know what I mean? Like, just all self things. I just feel like, like.
I'm about to get you with this one now. Imagine looking in the mirror, standing in front of the mirror, not looking at your appearance, right? But your habits. So you're not looking at your appearance, you're looking at your habits.
Absolutely.
Could you honestly say you're doing everything you need to do to heal?
From where I sit right now at this big age of 44, absolutely, I do.
Okay.
I definitely, and I say that with confidence. I definitely feel like I am doing, when I look in the mirror, and I look in the mirror proudly, like I don't see what I look like, but I see what I look like. But I'm very proud of myself because I am willing to take the steps to check in with myself, if that makes sense. First off, when I start my day, I'm not even going to allow my day to even go into anxiety or anything else. Now, back to I know we talk about control. I know I just said that I think control is bad, but I do control my day. I do control my day and what that looks like. Definitely.
I like that.
I do. I don't allow, like, I'm listening to stoicism, like quotes and different things like that. I'm praying to God. I'm doing my breathing, and like if anything feels like it's trying to come in on me, I'm checking in with myself. I'm going internal, and I want to see and I want to know what's going on with myself. Like when I start feeling like, okay, it's gonna be one of those days, I won't allow myself to get sad. I do my very best to try not to let any negative emotions come in on me. So yeah,
I like that.
that
I like
part.
that. Who are you without your pain? This is another one.
Who am I without my pain?
Yep. So sometimes we carry pain so long that it becomes our identity.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you without it? Because you. So here how I feel, right? So I told you growing up how everything was with me, right? But I really feel like if I didn't go through what I went through, I would not be the person I am today. So my pain or my trauma made me who I am today.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I agree. And to that question, I literally was going to say the same thing. My pain is a part of my story, but I won't allow it to let me be a victim, because you have some people who will be a victim to their pain. When I look at my pain, I don't see
Baby, how you
I don't see myself becoming a victim to it. It's helping me write my story to my life, because pain to me personally is a lesson. You know what I mean? I lost my mom at a young age. That was very painful, and that taught me how to appreciate and love the people that's close to me. So I just take pain personally, and I, utilize it for the good. I don't sit here and be like, oh my God, my mom's died and life's over, and I've been divorced a lot. Life's over.
But so my pet peeve with this, right? You could talk. I talk to a lot of people, and it literally bothers me to my core when we at this big age and you're still letting the trauma from your childhood control who you is in present day, because you cannot keep blaming what happened in your childhood for what you're doing in your adulthood. Because at some point in life, you had to grow up, right? So whatever happened to you, you had the choice to either.
Yeah.
You had the choice to either go left or right, and you chose to continue letting that pain and trauma from your childhood control who you is as an adult, so you can't move forward. Fear grows the longer we avoid what needs to be faced. Why do people wait until they're exhausted before asking for help?
Fear of judgment.
You think it's judgment?
Fear of judgment, vulnerability. Because think about it. Like, a lot of times, especially your family members, like when you asking them for help, a lot of times some of them do want to pick on you. Some people use it as opportunities to feel like, what you think?
I think judgment. I can agree with fear of judgment, but I also think it's because at the end of the day, I could be there for you, but you can't be there for me. So why, if I ask you for something and you can't give it to me, I'm not going to ask you no more. I'm not going to ask you for your help. I'm not going to ask you nothing, because at the end of the day, you wasn't there when I need you the most. So you could judge me all day long. I really don't care. Like, I'm that type of person.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I expect you, if I have your back, you have my back. But if I come to you and I really, really need you and you not there for me, baby, y'all ain't want to know what I really want to say. That one I'm going to tell you.
So on that, and that's the crazy part, what I'm learning right now in this very chapter right now is expectations of people, especially the people that you love, right? And the people that you do give to. You can't even expect nothing from them. Because, like, you look for, I just realized that everybody don't have the capability to really, like, love you the same or give you the same. So
because the love you have for people is maybe bigger than the love they have for you. I saw that a long time ago. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. It's one thing about me, and Dana will tell you this. I was always the person, I don't care, and I'm going to continue to say this. I don't care what people say about me, because at the end of the day, only person that I fear itself is God. God is the only person who walked beside me. And I literally, if you're not my husband and my kids and the ones that I love, baby, I don't care nothing about you. I don't ask people for help. I don't do none of that, because at the end of the day, I learned that not even your loved ones are going to show up for you.
Yeah, they ain't. But I feel like people are afraid to ask for help for real because of judgment and vulnerability. And some people, you have hyper independent people though too, who will wait almost towards the end though, before they do ask for help, because they do try to figure it out all the way to the end. You know what I mean?
What if courage isn't the absence of fear? What if courage is moving while fear rides beside you? Yeah.
Wait, one more time.
What if courage isn't the absence of fear? What if courage is moving while fear rides beside you? So that's like your point. Stop waiting, right?
Absolutely.
So what if it's not courage? Is it the absence of fear? Or is fear just riding along with you, just ready to show up for most people? Or is they just keeping it in their pocket for that rainy day? Like, oh, I'm scared to move this and I'm scared to do that.
No, I think some people just really just try to hold their own though. You don't think so? I really think so. Now speaking for me, I'm gonna give it all I got, all the way to. I mean, I could be losing my house, baby. I'm gonna wait till that pink slip or whatever that is. I'm telling you, before I'm gonna
don't listen to her.
I'm gonna do the very best I can all the way to, and then if I don't have no choice, then
that's understandable. But you should be able to, like I say, where is that village? We don't have that anymore.
Yeah, that's non-existence. Yeah, no, that's why I miss the army. That's why I'm having a hard time with civilians.
I don't miss no army now. I don't.
I miss the people. Excuse me.
Okay, you miss the people.
I miss the people. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she don't even like people. She talk about she miss the people. I ain't even gonna lie. I miss some of the people. Some. I don't like people neither. As y'all can see, Dana is one of them people. I missed her. But I talk to her all the time, so it don't matter. Now, other than them people, yeah, no, we don't do that.
But what do you think though? Like I want to hear your thoughts on that question though. Like,
for me, I think courage is a big thing, but I also think being courageous is a fear within itself. And the reason why I'm saying that is because
for real.
The reason why I'm saying that is because you can be the most fearless, courageous person of all time, but in the back of your head, going out and putting something out there is still the fear of unknown. You can have the courage of doing it, but it's still somewhere deep down inside, you're still going to have the fear of unknown, which ultimately brings you back to trusting yourself.
Absolutely, yeah.
So honestly, if you don't trust yourself wholeheartedly, how can you be courageous? You can't do that and still be fearless. So you have the fear that walks alongside of you.
I agree. That's a good point, Joe. That's a real good point.
So here's the question nobody wants to ask, right? If anxiety disappears tomorrow, what would you finally do? Then ask yourself, what's stopping you from taking one step today?
If anxiety disappeared tomorrow.
If anxiety disappeared tomorrow, what would you do?
Whoa. Girl, I'd be happy. I mean, bye. Toodles. Like, I would be ecstatic.
Okay.
Yeah. How would you feel if it disappeared tomorrow? Wouldn't you party?
Yeah, I would.
Yes.
But then you think
it's like a battle won. It's like a war won.
So that is true.
Yeah.
So anxiety is a battle. If it don't go away, it's a battle you're gonna always be fighting. But how do you combat it? Like for me, I handle mine because I'm not gonna let my anxiety run my life.
Yeah, no, you can't.
I have to control it myself.
Absolutely.
So I find ways to control that. But yeah, I'll be happy. Like
Yeah.
that's something. I think that's just something that people put on us. But you know,
Yes,
that's
victory is mine.
that part. That
Victory.
part. Okay, okay.
If it goes, it goes. Toodles.
So, if you had to, from everything here, what is the one thing that you would tell your listeners to take away from this week?
I would absolutely tell them to trust themselves for real, because that's what you just gotta trust yourself. Like,
You know I'm about to hit you with another one, right?
and that's fine. But
Can accountability and self-compassion exist together?
absolutely it can.
Oh, okay.
I definitely believe so. What about? Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
It can. It can.
Yeah, because I could tell you to be accountable for something and be very compassionate in my delivery and still hold space for you, but still letting you know. But we do that to each other, though, do we not?
That's called being real with each other. You see, we could be real and honest with each other,
the
but yeah,
love
the love is there.
Yes, the love
Yeah,
makes us have
if you
compassion.
can, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah.
Let's discuss grace versus excuses and healthy self-talk. So, do you give yourself grace, or do you make excuses for your health, for yourself? Which one do you do?
Well, I hold myself accountable, so there is no excuses in my world. But I give myself grace, though, definitely, because if I don't, if I don't accomplish something in the ways that I wanted to, I still show up and say, hey, you showed up, you did it, you made an attempt, and here you are. So now you can see what you need to change, what you need to tweak to do it better. But yeah,
I wasn't that person always. I was at one time. I didn't give myself grace at one time. I do now.
definitely, you got to. A lot of people don't give themselves grace because a lot of people don't really know what it is. Or two. Who, did your parents ever tell you to give yourself grace?
Baby, my mama know.
Exactly. Exactly.
My mama know.
Nobody. I'm gonna say probably 2 years before I got out the military is when I started giving myself grace. For real. I heard somebody say it one day. I wrote it on my office notes and left it up, and I looked it up, and I was like, Dana, you know what? Give yourself some grace. Yeah. So
It was a lot of stuff we used to write in. Used to do.
absolutely.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I give myself a lot of grace now. I don't want listeners to leave saying this was just a good conversation. I want them asking, what has fear been deciding for me? Maybe accountability isn't changing for whole life tonight. Maybe it's taking back one decision. So, one phone call, one apology, one boundary, one prayer, one therapy appointment, one courageous step. That's how healing begins. So what message, Dana, would you give someone who feels trapped by their anxiety right now?
Like I said earlier, trust yourself. Like trust yourself, and it's gonna be okay. Like those are simple words, but they mean so much. Like trust yourself seriously. You got to, and know for real that
Give yourself grace.
Yes, give yourself grace that it is really gonna be okay, and don't allow that to conquer you. You conquer it, and that goes with trusting yourself.
Y'all hear that right? Because I know y'all gonna be on here looking and be like, "What?" She said, "Trust yourself, give yourself grace, hold yourself accountable."
Got to, you got to, and with that, you can do anything.
Y'all get that message? Oh, okay. I want to pause for a minute because there's another part of this conversation that often gets overlooked: accountability. Now, let's be clear. Anxiety is not your fault. Trauma is not your fault. The things that you experience today may not have been your choice, but healing requires accountability. Accountability is not blaming yourself, it's asking questions, or asking yourself the hard questions. Am I avoiding something because I'm afraid? Am I making excuses instead of making progress? Have I become comfortable living in survival mode? Sometimes we wait for life to change before we change. Sometimes we wait for someone to save us. Sometimes we wait until we feel ready. But growth really starts with feeling ready. It starts with making a decision. Holding yourself accountable means choosing to show up even when fear is present. That could mean going to therapy, having a difficult conversation, applying for the job, leaving an unhealthy relationship. Let me repeat that. Leave the unhealthy relationships. Okay.
And the job.
Set boundaries and the job. Take your medication consistently.
Yes.
Pray when you get out before you go to bed. Journaling helps. Ask for help. Small acts of accountability eventually become life-changing habits. So before we end today's episode, I want to leave everyone with an accountability challenge. Dana. This week, identify one fear that has been making decisions for you. Write it down. Then take one action that fear has been stopping you from taking. Not 10 steps, not a complete transition or transformation. Just one intentional step, because fear loses power when we stop obeying it. Remember, you may not be responsible for everything that happened to you, but you are responsible for what happens next. That's not pressure, that's power, right?
Absolutely.
Today's conversation reminds us of something. Anxiety is not weakness. Accountability is choosing not to let fear make your decisions anymore. It's a human response to uncertainty. And throughout life, our fears may change, but our ability to grow, adapt, and find peace can grow as well. What you think about that?
I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, I do. I mean, I can invite me back. Invite me back.
So, thank you to our guest, Dana, for bringing honesty and insight to this conversation. And to everyone listening, if you ever struggle with anxiety, remember this: you are not broken. You are human. This is Real Unfiltered, Unapologetic. I am your host, Joy, with my special guest, Dana. Until next time, keep it real, keep it safe, keep being you. And that's it for us today. Till next time.